Hey y'all, hey. I am getting into a quick love reading. I am gonna do a what you need to know as well, but this is gonna be a quick little love reading. I am hearing that someone is in some type of like question if the person that they just met is like something they manifest or a test, and I am here to tell you that that is a manifestation of yours. Oop. All right. So if you were wondering if that person that you just met, it is a manifestation and not a test. It says slow down, clarity, self-love, forgive and heal, and playfulness. Give me a second while I receive the message. So Spirit is saying that you are on a self-love journey. It just seems like maybe after a couple of failed or bad relationships, you started to look at self. You started to say, why am I attracted to the same spirit but in different bodies? And it is giving you that clarity that I get that someone that I'm gonna say like a friend, somebody who maybe was helping you get over a breakup, or someone who and it wasn't the, once you leave one thing you hop on another, not that type. It was like someone who always been there watching, who's always been in the background, kind of like had a crush on you, or kind of, can provide you with what you need, but you wasn't really looking for them. You was like, that's a no. But now you have that clarity that that's probably someone who, after this self-love journey, you realize, like, I was wanting Ken and or Devon or Devin or Terrell or Trill or T or Victor, but I need Stuart. I need John. I need, you know, this person. I need this. I want this, but I need this. I get that this guy or this girl is playful. And remember, energy is, it's not male or female, so me just saying names is just me shooting out what I heard. There is a lot of playfulness in this relationship. It is like you're having fun. You see this, like, it's like I'm able to be myself without being judged. I'm able to breathe. I'm not holding my breath around this person, because it just seemed like maybe you were with people who you had to hold your breath for. You had to kind of walk on eggshells. It's this I see this thing that said this woman and guy was in a relationship, and both of them had like an insecurity when it comes to, like, I guess, passing gas, and they was together for like 10 years before neither one of them heard each other pass gas. So they were both like talk about how their stomach would hurt and things like that, because they would hold it in. Like, they wouldn't even do the they wouldn't even they'll eat their food, but the food wouldn't come out. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean, like, it wouldn't come out. And they will hide that from each other for 10 years. But I get that this person is someone that you can, let that out. You don't gotta be afraid. You can be vulnerable. You can talk. You can, hey, as a woman, I'm on my cycle today. I'm not really feeling it. At first, it was just like, people just try to make it seem such a bad thing. But having a cycle is beautiful. There's so many benefits to it. I'm not gonna get all into that. That's something for, if you're into that, for you to kind of research. But cycles are very beneficial to not only yourself, but those around you, and also to your garden. So definitely look into that. And if you're a man, you're finally able to, not have to get your hair cut, every week. You can kind of go without getting a haircut, or letting your beard ain't connecting all the way. And you can finally, be let your beard grow without trying to get those. I see men get those like beard, not beard. Oh yeah, they get like beard. It's not gel. It's like a marker type of thing. And it's not even a marker, so I'm sorry if I, offend anybody when I say that. It's not a marker. It's like some type of like, I don't know what it is, but you don't have to do that now. You with someone who is like, hey, let them toes out, let them dogs out. You ain't got to be afraid to show me your feet. You ain't got to be afraid to let your, as a man, let your real hair out, telling a woman, you ain't got to wear all that weave, and you ain't got to go get this, you ain't got to go get that. You good. You know what I mean? Be you. I want to see you. I'm happy with you. I'm not happy with all the extra. But then what stands out to me is there is a slow down card. It says, just because you want something so bad doesn't mean you have to rush into it. Take a moment to talk with your partner or self to reflect on what is best. So sometimes we will, like I said in the beginning, this is somebody you manifested. Sometimes we will rush into stuff because we just know. You know what I mean? And I'm going to give you an example. Earlier on in my journey, I remembered, well, I'm not going to say early on, but in a part of my journey, I remember dating someone. And I was just so sure that we was going to get married. And mind you, we never even talked about marriage. But this was here. It was like presenting itself. And I'm just like, I told him, I'm like, in my head, I said, I'm going to regret this, but I got diarrhea at the mouth. And we going to get married. And he like, what? Like, girl, we ain't even, I'm not talking about that. And I'm like, no, we're going to get married, because that's what I seen. Like, that's what Spirit was showing me. And I kind of interrupted that path. And I'm not going to say, oh, I regret it, or no, nothing like that. No. Because I'm very, 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 very thankful for the partner that I do have. But I had to slow down because I started getting ahead of myself. I started, I started loving myself. I started, being playful, being myself, being able to be me. And I was like, yeah, no, we're going to get married. And he's like, definitely not. And we quit talking. Like, not that long after that, we quit talking. And just because you want something don't mean that we got to rush into it. You know what I mean? If you want marriage, I'm all for whatever type of marriage people are for. I'm not against, I myself is not a go spend $30,000-$40,000 on a wedding. Because honestly, we can spend $30,000-$40,000 putting down on some land, maybe getting a couple of tiny homes, maybe taking a vacation, maybe buying a nice car. I just can do other things with that $30,000-$40,000. However, if that is your dream and you don't care about nothing else I just said, and that is your, that's what, hey, to each his own. But there is other ways you can get married. You can, do a spiritual wedding. You can do a backyard. I've been to a backyard wedding, and when I tell you that was it was so nice and well thought out and just creative, and it wasn't like tacky or nothing. It was just like, you would have thought that it was at a venue or something. It was so nice. The food, everybody took part in cooking the food. So it was bomb.com. I've been to, and I also have witnessed people who spent, 30, 40, 50,000 on a wedding and it didn't work. And I've also seen people spend no dollars on a wedding and they just claim that they got married and it did work. So you can slow down. You don't have to rush into anything. The time is there. We have time. I know that people say time is this and that. You don't know what tomorrow. Then if you planned this and it didn't happen tomorrow and something happened, then guess what? It wasn't meant. That's just that simple. And as you forgive and heal, your love life becomes brighter and healthier. So you have to forgive the past. You have to let go of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You have to let go of he did me this way, so I don't, this is why I act like that. Please don't go into a relationship doing that. Please heal, please. And it just seemed like you are healing. You are on a self-love journey. So I'm not sure if this is the person that you are talking to that's kind of like in this, they know, like, and it could be like you can be on this journey and you know, ready, and then they could be the ones that's pulling back, and they can be the ones that's second guessing it. Because they haven't fully healed. And sometimes you may, and I know people are like, I'm not a builder bear, and I'm not building a man, and I'm not building a woman, and I'm not you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to give people grace, and that's just the honest to God truth. Everybody wasn't dealt with the same cards. Some people you have to give grace to, but that's where your discernment come in at, because you have to know who you can and can't give grace to. But that is it. That's all I have. I hope this message resonates. And yeah, you know, you doing your thing. You have the clarity. You have the answers that you need in front of you. Just kind of take it slow. Don't, once you meet this energy, or if you already met this energy, don't rush it. Because they're gonna be there. Don't take your last situation as, you know, you took your time and you did this, you did that, and this person didn't turn out to. That's okay. That's okay. I'm the one to tell you that's okay. I've had failed relationships myself, and they shouldn't have even been relationships because I was too young to even be in relationships. And that's why I teach my children now, 11 on the clock. I teach my children, no, and no. My oldest, because I go through their phone, yes, they don't really have much in there, but I still go through it. My oldest is this girl that's texting him, and I have a teenager, and texting him and talking to him, and she's like very persistent on, oh, I want to talk to you, I want to be with you, I want you to be my boyfriend. And he's like, no, I'm focusing on myself. Like, this is, I don't want to do that right now, you know. I'm dealing with myself. And she's like, why, what's wrong with me? And he's like, nothing. And then she goes, that's okay, that's why I got 4 boyfriends. And then he texts her and was like, good for you. And I was so proud of him. Like, and it's like, sometimes I don't think my kids listen to me, but in that moment I felt so good, because I did not think like that as a child. Like, at becoming a teenager, and that's just the environment you're around. And it's just like, I was not thinking like that. I wish I would have been thinking like that, but I wasn't. And that was my main goal, like, as a parent, is to teach my kids what I didn't have. It don't have anything to do with material. Like, yes, you know, my children get what they need, and, you know, if I can, they get what they want. But my main goal is to teach them what they need to not only, you know, be emotionally stable, but grounded, you know, have self-love, have self-respect, not only for themselves, but for the woman, you know. And I told him, I'm really proud of you for that. You know, I'm not going to take your phone because you're talking to a girl or not. That's not, no, you're going to talk to girls. That's just the way the world works. You know what I mean? I'm glad you're talking to girls, actually. But I'm glad, you know, so be that person that is okay with saying, hey, I'm not ready for that right now. You know, if and then even if you're in something with someone, and let's just say, you know, everything's going good, and then you feel like they're rushing you because of whatever reason, it's okay to let them know. Don't feel like, oh, if I tell them this, you know, they're gonna break up with me, then that means it wasn't meant. Because the person that's for you is going to wait for you regardless of what's going on. And I just seem like this person who been in the shadows, this person who you basically was looking at like, hey, that's bro, that's sis, that's the homie, you know, that's more than the homie, because the homie have watched you go through all this stuff, and they kind of maybe put that too, like, you know, I would never do you like that. And you look at them like, man, shut up, ew, yeah, you know, you the homie. But this is the person who really know you more than anybody, because they've seen the heartbreaks, they've seen the breakups, the makeups, you know, you vent to them on what you want and what you need, and they're here. You know what I mean? You manifested, and it's here. So that is all I have for you. Bye.